Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, everyone. I've always been a very strong person, but there are times when I just feel like I'm lying to myself, that it takes a lot of courage to actually admit that you're not doing okay. And I'm the type of person who sometimes I end up fooling myself into believing that I'm okay, because whenever I feel depressed or I don't feel right, I still keep moving on. I still keep forcing myself to groom, to go out, to be productive, to be active. So you might see me on the outside like a very normal person, just going about with my day, with my job, with my relationships, etc. There are many things which bother me immensely, and I've always been a very honest person. I think all my friends, my classmates, people who are close to me, who still want to be in my life, are people who really appreciate me for my honesty. So I've never pretended that, like on Instagram, you see people pretending that they have these perfect lives, that they have no problems, that everything is super glamorous all the time. So I don't flaunt my happiness when I'm not feeling okay. I think, in fact, it's very important for me to talk about such things. It's very important to address mental health issues and to address depression. And unfortunately, depression is like this huge pink elephant in a room that everyone pretends it's not here. It's a big elephant in the room. It's like we know it's a problem, we know that it's a danger, we know that many people are killing themselves every day, but still we don't want to talk about it because it makes us feel uncomfortable, or perhaps it reminds us of our own inner demons, as we say. Perhaps we don't want to accept that we also sometimes we feel like we can't go on. And as a Muslim, it's very important to address this issue, because I feel like, generally speaking, Muslims tend to it's like, we like to pretend that we are very strong and that we have it under control, or that just by praying and worshiping God, everything will be fine. But it's a very separate issue. You might still be very devout, very pious, very practicing. Like I myself, there were times when my faith was really, really high. I remember there was a time in my life where I would pray 5 times a day, read the Quran, and do extra acts of worship and just devote my whole life to Islam. But even then, it's not like I was immune to depression. I still felt very depressed at times. In fact, that is perhaps the irony, I don't know. But for Muslims, the more you will try to become a better Muslim, the more you will try to do the right things, the more it will be difficult for you to adapt to this world. Why? Because you will see that people are not necessarily very nice to you. It's not like just because you are being very patient, very humble, very kind, very pure-hearted, just because you have cleansed your heart from all these dark feelings, doesn't mean that the whole world will do that. I have seen it, I know it's the truth, and I know that the more you become a good person, the more you will suffer. That's it's hard to digest, because it makes you feel even more discouraged sometimes. Like, why am I doing all these efforts and I'm trying to become the best version of myself? I'm not hurting anyone, I'm not doing anything morally wrong, but even then I'm getting even more problems in my life. So that is something that even I haven't been able to come to terms with it. Like I said, I like to believe I'm a very strong person. It's a fact, I'm a very strong person, because I was afflicted with depression at 13 years old for the first time. 13 years old. That was very young. And then ever since, it's like my life has been, I've lost my innocence, I can say. I've always been enmeshed, unfortunately, in many issues with family members, at work. I reach a point in my life where I can't even tell you which field is. It's not like everything is holding, I'm just holding on by a thread. Like, I just feel afraid that at one point it might just snap and I will find myself losing everything. And of course it terrifies me, of course it's very, very depressing, but I'm bold enough to talk about it. Honestly, I'm not afraid of dying. I think that's just something that is very normal. I'm not talking about suicide, I'm talking about natural death. I'm not afraid of dying, but I'm afraid of living a life where I never take any risk, where I just do everything that everyone wants from me and I never do what I want. So that is something that I think For those who feel depressed, many times it's like you feel like you're trapped in something, or either a relationship or a job or anything that doesn't feel like you're not doing what you feel you're supposed to do. Like for me, this channel, my blog, my YouTube journey is so important for me that even if some people in my life might not like it, they might not view it from a positive angle, I just don't care, because I know that I'm not doing anything that is wrong, that is hurting someone, and it just makes me feel it helps me a lot with my own mental health to do that. And yeah, I'm just trying to become more authentic and not care about people that much. Unfortunately, before ending, let me tell you something which is it's a fact, but we want to run away from it. The truth is, in our community, in Asian communities in general, if you are a young man or woman who is not married, you're supposed to live with your parents, right? So when you live with your parents, it's like there are good things as well, but it's like you don't have your own full independence. So they are always giving you unwanted feedback on how you should dress, how you should talk, how you should decorate your room, everything. And I just find that very disturbing. It's very suffocating. I think a point will come in my own life if I don't get married. I will definitely perhaps choose to move out. This is something that bothers me a lot. I don't like people to tell me what I should do, what I should not do, especially considering that I am a very mature person, that I do make mistakes, but I do also have my head on my shoulders. So I'm not the type of person to be really behaving irresponsibly in whatever sense it might be. So these were just a couple of very random thoughts of mine that I thought I would share. And I do hope to be much more active on YouTube. I keep saying that, but it's just like you have to prepare yourself. It's not just a question of time, but you need to edit, to post, to film and all of that and get ready. So by the grace of God, today I've been able to do that.